Speaking of people who like the Mango Mussolini and are conspiracy theorists and etc., and I've mentioned that almost everybody I've ever known seems to be a disappointment to me at some time or another. Another guy from the wrestling industry has apparently melted down into mental insanity. Val Venis. And I didn't even know this. I haven't seen him in years, hadn't talked to him in years, but all of a sudden, especially over the last 2 weeks, everybody's been tweeting me. Have you heard what Val Venis said on Twitter? Or have you seen what Val Venis put on Twitter? Whatever. Apparently, he's another conspiracy theory. He blistered The Rock for supporting the communists. He's a conspiracy theory. Has he lost his mind? Is this a Billy Jack kind of situation going on here? I hate that because I like this guy.
And apparently Billy Jack's gone missing. I don't know if you know that.
But no, I just knew that he had been saying batshit crazy things for the last several years, but now he's missing.
I had seen a few things in the last week that said that no one has heard from him since April, I think. He has just vanished.
You know, when you looked at his videos and heard the stories that he was telling, and it was almost like when the Sheik was bad off, the Iron Sheik was bad off there for a while back. It was like, are people taking advantage of him and, putting him up to this? And he's obviously got problems. With Billy Jack, it was like, is the people that are shooting these things, they've got to know that he obviously has an issue. Or at first people were thinking, was it some kind of gimmick that he was using? But he was way too convincingly crazy for it to be a gimmick, because where did Billy Jack suddenly become the most convincing actor in the history of fucking wrestling, right? So that I feel bad about that, but Val Venis is doing this on his own. He's saying these things. He's in possession of whatever faculties he's got. He's doing this on his own. Whether he's off on fucking planet Zambodia or not is a different conversation. But did you have some of the information there of things he's been tweeting?
Well, you mentioned this to me, and I tried to pull up stuff. It's not easy because his Twitter account is gone.
Oh, no. Okay.
Apparently, and I'll read you what I was able to find, but apparently he had been blocked by Twitter for violating their child sexual exploitation policy.
What?
And then once the block had ended, he quit Twitter. Based on what I'm seeing, I think that's exactly what happened.
But wait a minute, now the stuff that I was seeing, and nobody has accused him of being a child predator that I'm aware of. Is this some kind of loophole that he's fallen into while being anti-communist and conspiracy theorist, or is this some unrelated issue?
I think it's related based on what I'm seeing here, and I think we should also remind everyone Val Venis, a Canadian. Because obviously he has a lot of
Canada. I don't know if he lives there now. He lived in the States for quite some time, but he's from Canada.
Here are a series of tweets that it looks like he put out the day of the inauguration, which may have led to the ban. Today's wonderful American inauguration is a massive lesson to all American children. Listen up, kiddos. Crime pays off, and pays off big in America. Ballot voting fraud combined with pedophilia are two crimes that can help you become president of the USA as well. Learn well, kids. The hand of a pedophile on the Bible while lying through his teeth is a sad and sick thing to see and hear. The global pedophile elite are jumping for joy right now as they know.
Wait a minute. Is that a branch of All Elite Wrestling?
No, let's not even make that joke. No.
Wait, I'm just global pedophile. GPE. Watch out for those. Somebody's going to use those initials.
The global pedophile elite are jumping for joy right now as they know their kid-diddling cartel will never see justice under Biden. So I was able to find these tweets.
What? How do they sell that? We asked earlier in the program how that they sell that Biden's got Alzheimer's or is mentally incompetent when every speech he gives is more lucid than anything that Donald Trump's ever said. But how do they also sell this guy, this guy who cries when he's addressing meetings of his friends, who loves kids, who has a big family that all love him? How do they sell that this guy's a pedophile? What the fuck is the matter with these people? And Val Venis, and you and I were talking about this when we spoke yesterday while waiting on Hotchkiss to fix the technical problems. He was a great talent. Sean Morley was his real name. Maybe he's changed it to Val Venis since then. I don't know. But he had had a good run in Puerto Rico when that was still kind of a legitimate territory. Had worked some in Japan, worked in Canada. Had a number of years of experience, but still had not been seen when he was signed by that late 90s run when we were trying to go and find unseen talent and guys you could bring in. Had a great fucking physique, tremendous, smooth worker for that size. He was still smooth and quick and light on his feet. He could cut a promo. He had personality. He looked like something. And he acted like somebody, right? All the tools there. And I can see why he might be, I can see why he might be bitter. This isn't bitter. This is just crazy. But he was another casualty. I brought this up of Vince Russo's booking. Shit Stain fucking Incorporated. Killed another guy's career. This was at a time where he had not been in the business 10 years when he debuted as Val Venis. And that was in 1997, if I recall. And after the next 3 years, by the time let's say he was in his early 30s, where the fuck did he ever go? Where the fuck did he ever wrestle? And I'm knocking the guy now because he's apparently lost his fucking marbles. But he was a great wrestler. Where did he go? Nowhere. Nobody wanted a guy whose whole fucking gimmick was based on a dick. His name rhymed with penis. That was, oh, wow. Who in the world could come up with something like that? That was cutting edge creativity. That Sean Morley, with any other gimmick, still had every tool and everything that was necessary to get over with a push in the WWF. It's just you had a guy who was living out his prepubescent, weird sexual issues because of his lack of experience in same with anybody but his own wife in his entire life. And that's why you had all of the weird women and all of the dick jokes and all of the fucking whole bullshit. And it killed Val Venis, gave Sean Morley a 3-year run, maybe, not even on top, and killed the rest of his fucking career. In the last 20 years, what's he done? He's done a few reunions as Val fucking Venis. Otherwise, he was fucking poison in wrestling. He's another one that we've listed them, the Headbangers with 2 more guys. He just ran them out of the business with those gimmicks. So I would be sympathetic to Val Venis. Always liked him. He wasn't crazy then. He didn't say batshit crazy things like that in those days. Thought he had a good fucking head on his shoulders as he come under hard times and can't afford his medication because Shit Stain killed his wrestling career in his early 30s 20 years ago.
Well, I did find another one here. Apparently this is from right after the election. Sami Zayn, the former El Generico, was commenting about how happy he was about the election result. And Val Venis, seemingly out of nowhere, unless I'm missing something here.
I'm not aware they're in the same social circles. They're both Canadian. That's about it. I understand most Canadians don't know everybody in the country.
Hey, at Sami Zayn, were you born stupid? Or is your stupidity a recent development? And then Kevin Owens replied, I remember in the early 2000s when I'd picture the day Generico would get berated on the internet by a pot-obsessed porn star portraying ex-wrestler because of Donald Trump. It's about time.
Well, good for you, Steen. That was a pretty good one. I don't know what's the matter with Val. I think we ought to close it right there. I don't know what the fuck is the matter with anybody these days, but obviously he's in some type of health decline or just mental decline or just out on the street and can't afford his fucking psychiatric medication or whatever. I feel bad, but can't take care of everybody.
There's nothing else I could add to this. Very talented wrestler.
Yeah.
Question the gimmick. I mean, imagine, what wasn't there? I mean, you may have just said it and I missed it because I was looking for articles, but originally was there thought about bringing him and teaming him with Edge? Am I wrong when I say that? When he first got brought in?
I mean, somebody may have said it. I don't remember that being the case because Edge and Christian came in together. But they had their first dark match where we actually saw them in front of people against each other up in Canada. And I liked Christian, but I was blown away by Edge. He was the one that they were mostly featuring at that point. I'd say mostly he was the one that they wanted featured in that dark match. So he was a heel. And I'm like, this fucking guy could be the next Ric Flair in terms of a fucking blonde, cocky, sexy looking, but beg off kind of chicken shit heel. And Christian was very good also. And I remarked to JR at the monitor, I said, damn, we got these guys signed up. They're fucking great. And JR said, shh, because old Carl DeMarco, the head of the Toronto office, but he had found them. And they were kind of his. And DeMarco was friends with Brett too. And JR said, we got them for $300 a week Canadian. Don't he don't want to be putting them over in front of DeMarco real loud. He was afraid they'd ask for more money. But I don't know if they were going to team them because it always seemed like the Brood thing was the first thing they put together to me. I don't know though. But that was, unfortunately he came in at that point where a lot of those guys came in where Dipshit had more influence and Vince was listening to him. And a lot of those guys never recovered from those fucking gimmicks.
Actually, I may have had the story completely wrong. I'm not sure, but I'm looking it up online. Was Edge married to Val Venis' sister at one point?
That's what it was. Yeah. Yes. They were brother-in-law or whatever the fuck that was. That's what the story was. But they weren't going to be a tag team.
Okay.
Well, I don't know about their personal life, but you know what I'm saying.